I only had one nightmare that was truly beyond for me. I was 19 at the time. A buddy of mine was on leave and he was in the Marines visiting me. Going to sleep, I let him sleep on my bed and I took the couch. The couch was one of those L-shaped sectionals where the short part of the L was at my feet and there was an ottoman in front of the couch in that little area. I had one of those weird sleeps where I woke up before opening my eyes. And when I opened them, I saw a creature standing right next to the ottoman. There was a light in the hallway, so it was like a silhouette from the light behind it. Not enough light from the street light, though, to make it super clear from the window that was behind me. It was about 3 to 4 feet tall. All I could remember from its features is it had super greasy hair covering most of its face. I just closed my eyes back shut and turned around to face the back of the couch. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like the moment I saw it, my entire body was filled with terror and dread. But the next thing I heard made me chilled to the bone. As soon as I turned around, I heard like a loud whisper in my ear.
I saw you see me. Don't act like you did.
Even more terrified, I just stayed silent. I didn't move. And basically was praying until I eventually fell asleep. At some point, I heard my buddy wake up and use the bathroom and then go back to his room. I probably would have forgotten all about it, except the next morning, when eating breakfast, my friend mentioned how he woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and he felt like the house was haunted. That gave both him and I the heebie-jeebies. I've had sleep paralysis, lucid dreams, false awakened dreams, and this wasn't like any of those. The only truly supernatural thing I have ever saw in my life that I couldn't explain away was this. Hey guys, welcome back to my Hollow. I'm Hans. If you're into supernatural mysteries and the unexplained told immersively, then you're just like me. We post a new video every Wednesday, so subscribe to our Hollow. A few nights after my dad died, I had this dream that I received a phone call. The caller ID said, God. And when I answered it, it was my dad. He told me to tell mom he was okay because he was in Portland, Oregon now, and he was happy. I didn't think much of the dream. My dad had no affiliation to Portland and never expressed a desire to be there. Nonetheless, I shared the dream with my mom to comfort her. She also didn't think much of my dream. Now, fast forward 5 years, and I have a dream that makes this unforgettable. I'm in the passenger seat of the car being driven by my dad through a city. I ask, "What are we doing?" He says, "I'm giving Mike a tour of Portland." That's when I realized my godfather was in the back seat. Within 30 minutes after waking up, I get a phone call from my mom. My godfather had died suddenly in his sleep that very night. When I was little, I had an extremely vivid dream. A building with a huge set of stairs leading up to 2 separate doors on either side. My dad and I sat on the stairs as I watched my sister and mother walk into the door onto the right. Immediately, I felt their lives were in danger, so unbeknownst to my dad, I walked up the stairs and entered into the door on the right. I was immediately face to face with a conductor whose flesh was falling off its bones, hair dangling from its scalp, and eyes popping out from its sockets, conducting a loud, unseen orchestra. I burst into tears and screamed, running out the building and past my dad. That's always where the dream ended. Now, flash forward to 8th grade. My band class won a trip to Mackinac Island. We arrived at a hotel on Michigan's mainland and then made our way to the ferry. Landing on the island, my group opted for bikes. Cars weren't allowed on the island, and started strolling through the streets. Then I saw it. The building in my dream. Huge steps, 2 doors on either side, just as creepy looking now as it was in my dream. I stopped, not caring that my friends were riding ahead of me. I couldn't believe it. It was real. It had a sign that read, "The Haunted Theater." Turns out, it was a haunted house attraction, but I hated haunted houses, so why was this thing in my dream? The trip continued with this weird deja vu sitting in the back of my head. And when I finally got home, I asked my mom, "Did we go to Mackinac Island when I was a kid?" She said yes. "Did you and my sister go in a creepy little haunted house?" Yes, they did. I proceeded to tell her that all these years I thought it was a bad dream. She laughed and confirmed, yes, it did happen, and I did get the shit scared out of me trying to follow them into the attraction. Reality felt a little bent after that. The attraction is still open today. I'd highly recommend it. I'm not sure if this counts, but I used to get really bad sleep paralysis. I had an old wooden rocking chair in my room. One night, my eyes fluttered open, and I was laying on my back, with my head turned towards the chair. On that chair, there was a woman crying her eyes out, staring directly at me as she pulled out her insides. Her skin was a pale gray color, and she had loose blonde hair. She just stared at me. I was scared shitless. I tried closing my eyes, and then I felt a pressure on my chest. You guessed it. She was sitting on my chest. But as I opened my eyes, I see her pulling her innards all over on my chest while crying. I literally wet the bed, and I was 20. I had this nightmare. My soul was floating through a room, and I just kept hearing, "She's here, she's here." The room makes this hovering, pulsing sound as the room tilts left and right. I didn't understand what it all meant until 6 months later. I enter a room, and my uncle is sitting in the front room, and he alarms other family members by saying, "She's here, she's here," referring to me. It turns out he was on the phone with the coroner trying to impersonate my brother and have my mother's body signed over to himself after she committed suicide. When he said, "She's here, she's here," I immediately remembered my nightmare and felt like I was going to pass out. This happened to me multiple times. The worst dream I've ever had by far was where I got into a car accident. It was weird. I just lost control of the car, went off to the side of the road, and hit this huge tree that was also in a barbed wire fence line. I tend to be able to control my dreams. I, for the most part, always found a way to get out alive. Well, this dream kept occurring, and I could never get out of the car. Fast forward about 2 days after the third or fourth dream I had about it, which happened to be the same way I drove every single day at the time. I noticed on the right side of this very long two-way road, there was a tree that was split in half, right at the edge of a cow field that was surrounded by barbed wire. All mangled in a mess with a cross and a bunch of flowers and balloons sitting there. I was 21 or 22 at the time. The road is a 55-mile-per-hour road, and everyone does a 50 to 75 on that road, so it's hard to stop by. I haven't found any media coverage on it. I'm assuming it was a younger person and the family wanted to keep it quiet. I had no idea where that spot was until I was by the cross and decor, which, by the way, was like any other cow pasture on the stretch of road till the accident. I had something similar happen to me when I was around 6 or 7 years old. I had a bout of night terrors which spanned over the course of the year. At first, the terrors were infrequent and unpredictable, but before they ended, I had one every day for 7 days. Then, I completely stopped having them. The weird part was, I'd fall asleep very quickly and hit an early REM cycle. My mom says that after about 20 minutes from falling asleep, I would let out a blood-curdling scream. She would come into my room, crying with a look of horror on my face and screaming. Next thing you know, I was sleeping. My mom would slowly comfort me until I'd wake up. And then she'd bring me into the living room, cuddle me, and offer me a drink or snack. Sometimes she'd ask me if I remembered what I had a nightmare about. Then I'd make up something stupid because I didn't want to scare her. I didn't want to scare her. But what I saw, I couldn't tell her. I would dream of a shadow figure that would hover directly over my body. And then I'd feel like I was dying and leaving my body. I felt like my life was being ripped out. Sleep paralysis or night terrors or whatever they were terrible, just absolutely frightening. There was one time that I remember it just looked down at me and my mom from the top of the ceiling. I was so scared and I felt so lost. I was just screaming for my mom to hear me. And just like that, I would wake up. Those are the scary stories I have for you guys tonight. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday. I think you guys are really gonna like it. Till next time, have a horrible sleep.